I've built Notion workspaces for companies doing 10K a month up to $1 million a month. I've worked with multitudes of industries in different sectors, and there's so much that's going on into it. But today I wanted to give insight to those business owners that want to get started on it, that know that it will be a good tool for them and don't really know where to begin. In this video, I'm going to run through the most important parts of Notion to get you started in actually using it for your business, where I think your focus should be to actually benefit from it. If you're also wanting to grow and scale your company through systems, I've got a newsletter that will help you do exactly that. The first link in the description will take you right there. One of the biggest issues that you see when it comes to Notion itself is that it isn't something that just tells you this is how you do it and you should do it this way. And that's what the majority of other platforms do. Notion more so gives you that blank canvas and just allows you to run with it in any way that you want. So if you like it a certain way, you can design it a certain way. And if you don't, you can change it. Whereas other platforms might just tell you this is the only way that you do it and you stick to this way. I'm going to run through a few key areas where I believe your focus should be in the beginning, especially to get your business running more smoothly and actually getting to where you're wanting to go. Notion is made predominantly up of databases. And inside of these databases is where all the information is held. So you see here as an example, I have all of my tasks laid out, and this is a database of what you're seeing. Inside of this database, if we come into where I actually created it, you'll be able to see everything that I've done inside of here. So let me remove some of the grouping and the sorting so that you can see it as a sort of blank canvas of what's actually going on. So in here, we have specific properties that make up the database. In a task database, I'm going to be wanting some things like the status or the priority or the due date or who I've assigned it to. So inside of here, I've used the addition of the properties themselves to select what I'm wanting to see. Now, if you're someone that's getting new into Notion, my recommendation for you is to do the / command and actually type in the databases and just use templates that Notion have already created. Don't go out there and start trying to spend 3 weeks on designing a database that you actually don't know that much about. Simply use the ones that they've already given you. You can see everything that they've already put in and you can just add it directly to your Notion. Look how quick I was actually able to add that, and now I can keep track of my tasks. Far too many people spend weeks trying to make their databases and their structures and all that look nice. You do not need to. If you're starting out on Notion and if you're wanting to get your systems to a better place, you want functionality first so that you're able to do the tasks that are going to help your company grow and then move you forward. I see far too many people think they're being productive and think they're being smart with all their stuff and trying to design it to make it look fancy and nice, and it never works. They do that for 3 weeks, they then use it for 3 weeks and fall off the edge of the earth and then blame the system for what's going on. They'll then find another system that catches their attention, think that's the thing that's going to change the game for them again, and do the exact same thing, where at no point they're actually doing the thing that's going to get them to where they want to go. Systems should predominantly be focused on when you're scaling your company and things are starting to break. You want to be able to build the foundations and build the right things in place first, so that when you look to improve these and when you look to bring on people into your company, this is already in place and you've already been using it for a certain amount of time. People who instantly come in and want to start designing conditional colorings, formulas and graphs, who have not actually ran their company for that long of a period of time, it's just stupid. You're wasting your time. There's absolutely no point of doing it. It's only when you get to a point where systems start to break down and things no longer start to work is where you really want to be looking into this and thinking, well, how is this going to improve the company by spending my time on these systems? And that's why you can have someone like me who can come in and actually help you do that, because not only do I not have to spend the same amount of time learning it because I already have the knowledge, but you don't have to worry so much about learning all the ins and outs where I can actually teach you to do that. That was definitely some sort of shameless plug, but we move. Inside of Notion, predominantly what everything is made up is databases, and you can actually connect databases to one another so that they can speak to each other. If you look here, you'll see the clients for YouTube. This was a video I created a while back, basically creating this template of what was going on. And I linked my clients database to my task database. Now, what that means is inside of my clients area, where I've got all the information related to the client, their retention data and everything in here, I've actually got all of the tasks that I've also related to them. So if I come into one of my clients, you'll be able to see the tasks to complete for that particular client and also the completed tasks for that client. That's because databases can relate to one another inside of Notion. And if I actually potentially add another task in here and I say task for client, I can select which client that's actually for. So for this example, this is actually going to be for Andrew, meaning that when I come into Andrew's page, I can actually see the tasks that I need to complete for him. Now that isn't actually Andrew at the top, that's just some random guy, but you get my point. This is where the power of Notion truly becomes something exceptional for your business when you know how to interconnect things. It allows you to then set up automations and filters and sorts that actually work in your favor, have things just in place so that you don't have to click so much into different folders and places and not knowing where everything is and not having to search for everything, but having it all connected so that they can work with one another. As I showed you before, you're able to add specific properties from all of these selections. So this gives you the opportunity to pick and choose kind of what you're wanting. Maybe I'm wanting a text block to take some notes on these clients, or just maybe quick notes of what's going on. So I can add quick notes into here, and every client I can then take some quick notes just based on when they first came in. Or maybe I actually want to filter all of my tasks so that I only want to see the ones that have a high level of priority. So in this page where I'm seeing this view of this database, I want to see the level of priority that are only set to high. So if you're getting started on Notion, you're wanting to try this is where it actually becomes really beneficial, because you build the databases and then you start to show it the way that you want to see it. If you want to just see the ones that are in high priority or in progress or done, then you can. This is where we move on to the next one, where you can sort them. So you can actually sort your databases just the way that you would be able to really do any sheets or Asana or ClickUp or anything that you're doing, to be able to sort those. And finally, you have the ability to set up some automations as well. So if you're wanting something to happen, maybe when the status becomes complete or the status becomes done, you can then add an action to send webhooks. If you're doing third-party automations, you can send Slack notifications. You can add pages to different databases as well. So an example of which could be if you sign a client and they come on board, you can then add a task to your task database that says onboarding call needs to be happened, make sure this goes ahead. You can add a call to your calls database, which is already templated for an onboarding call. And this then allows you to take it one step at a time and making your business run smoother with the things that can be automated. This is where the power of Notion really does come into play, where those automations can work with one another because you've already related the databases. When I come into Andrew's actual database themselves, I can see all the tasks that I need to complete in any of the content that I've already wrote for Andrew. Alongside these databases, you also have the ability to change all of these. So you have the option of 9 different layouts that you can choose from, with tables and timelines and calendars. You can also change the property visibility. So maybe in this one, you don't actually need to see the tasks, the roll-ups, the messaging stuff. So you can hide what you don't actually want to see. You can filter and sort, as we saw before. You can actually group this based on certain things. So we can group it based on the roadmap. You can then set conditional coloring as well. Again, we're going to set that for the roadmap so that these show colors just to work more in what you're looking to do. And we do have other abilities with things like sub items or dependencies if you're wanting to have that as well. Now that is only one part of Notion itself. And don't get me wrong, that is probably one of the most powerful parts of Notion and what you're actually wanting to focus on to begin with. When it comes to the design of it, you do still want to be able to understand how all of that is done. And this is where the / command comes into play. The / command is essentially the command that brings up everything that you can do inside of Notion. And my recommendation is to go through these and actually just play around with it to see what they do and what it actually is when you're using them. With the additions of AI as well, there's certain things that become more powerful, especially with the AI meeting notes, where you're able to bring those into your call templates, and it means that you can transcribe all of your notes, your transcriptions, and your action items directly for it. Notion has also recently released their AI agents and been doing a lot more with their AI stuff. So inside of here, you can use research mode, where it's going to go more in depth with what you're doing. You can also choose which particular model you're wanting to use when it comes to those side of things. You can also use web search if you're wanting to have that. And you can now actually personalize your own AI agent to give it its own instructions and its own rules inside of here. And I shot a video recently of building this for the first time and how that actually looked. So if you want to go and check that out, you can. Notion's AI at the bottom as well, if you're planning on using it, you do have to be on a little bit of the higher tiers when it comes to those sides of things. But if you're a business owner and you're wanting this to be your sort of central source of truth, then paying for that side of things is going to be quite a low expense compared to some of these other platforms. And the AI can help you understand a little bit more of what you need to do and what you actually should be doing inside of here. I've found the AI to become a lot better over these last few months. And if you're someone that needs a little bit of help understanding this a little bit more, then the AI can definitely do that and can guide you along how to actually design pages and how to make them look a little bit nicer for you to actually see. Notion's also recently just got their offline mode so that you can use Notion offline. Again, there's some things that you can't use offline, actually because you need some abilities to actually use certain properties inside of Notion, and also the addition of granular sharing, which essentially now means that you can create client portals that are protected inside of Notion from one master database, rather than creating new databases for every single client. More of the solutions from that in the past have been things like Airtable interfaces or softer client portals, but you can directly do it inside of Notion now. I've actually used Notion for the last 7 years. Some was from university up until when I was running my first businesses, and to where we were scaling our businesses as well when helping clients do that. So I've seen basically all the good and the bad when it comes to Notion. Now, if you want some of the limitations and some of the things that I believe may hold you back from using it, the first one would be if you like to just be told this is how you do things and do it this way, Notion isn't for you. That is a blank canvas that you get, and you are able to design it in any way that you want. That flexibility means that as you grow and scale, Notion can grow and scale with you, whereas other platforms don't tend to allow that. Which is, if you're not wanting that learning curve and you don't want to learn it, then Notion definitely isn't the route to go for you. Notion recently have been pushing quite heavily with the AI side of things too, and sometimes have the tendency that when they're releasing features or products, that they don't actually release them fully and have work to get done on them. Things like Notion Calendar, AI themselves, and some database things that definitely could be improved if they focused on it a little bit more. But I do understand companies have priorities, and especially with the AI space at the moment, I understand why their focus is on that. As a company that does move quick, but it is a company that is quite heavily focused on the AI side of things at this moment in time. Another one of the things that definitely hold Notion back at the moment is the mobile views. So if you're someone that really heavily relies on your mobile, you are going to have to design your Notion pages to be more mobile friendly, which you can do, but there is some nuances to it. There are some tricks in order to actually make it look nicer on the mobile view too. So if you're someone that does that, make sure you look into some videos that do it. I think I've even got a video where I run you through how to make it look good on mobile as well, and I'll try to find it to link it in the comments for you so that you can actually see it yourself, because mobile users I know is something that we would use heavily. Now, I use Notion on my mobile, but predominantly I'm spending most of my time at my PC. I don't actually have to use it on my mobile that much. If you're someone that wants to be using it on your mobile, there might be a better app for you. Overall, Notion has helped me scale my business in multiple ways, and also helped me scale companies in multiple ways as well through their systems. Now, although Notion isn't predominantly everything that I would use, you use things like Miro or Drive or Slack and Teams and anything like that to bring all of those systems together. Notion is still a part of all of those and the internal systems. It's been amazing to see people actually adopt it as I've been working with them. If you're wanting to use Notion and you're serious about it, just understand there'll be a learning curve to it. Get functionality over the way it looks to begin with, and then start to improve it as you begin to gain more confidence with how Notion actually is. If you're also looking to scale your company through systems, then that first link in the description to join my newsletter will be the best thing that you do today. And this video on the screen will be something I know you'll love to watch. So I'll see you there.